listening to the Casual Sports Show.
Palmer stepping away at first. Palmer extending the play. Nobody there. Crosses the field. Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald is going to take it into Green Bay territory.
The show exclusively known as the voice of the Arizona Cardinals fan club, the Bird Gang.
Fitzgerald inside the 30, the 20. Larry Fitzgerald is insane.
Now with your host, Earl Burnett, a.k.a. Casual E.
Bird Gang on 3, 1, 2, 3, Bird Gang.
And again, it is another lovely Monday night, and it's another edition of the only show in the Valley that covers all things Bird Gang, the Casual Sports Show. You want to be in touch with this show, you know what to do, how to reach us on our 3 social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, YouTube page. I am Earl Burnett, your host. The man in the other box is the subdued Sean McConnell.
What's happening?
What's up, man? So here we are again to talk another game that we have to cover, that, you know, we have to do it for you, Bird Gang, regardless of what the outcome is. We got to be the ones to rewatch that tape and come in anyway and show you and tell you what we think about what went on Sunday. But go ahead and also go to our website, www.ksrnaz.com, best internet radio station on the web, bar none. You want all the great content, all the great shows that are playing on the network, all live on your mobile phone. Go ahead and download the mobile apps for iOS and Android. Here we are again, man.
You know, when I'm here, you know it's because we lost, right? I mean, I'm never here for the win reactions. I'm always here for the loss reactions. So,
well, no, this was a little different. This is not just any loss. This is a different type of loss. This is 2018 type of loss. So that's what makes it a little bit different. It's like this is really bad. This was really bad.
You and I both know what this was, Earl. You know what this was.
No. Yep. No. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
Yeah, I
exactly
agree.
What that was.
Exactly. I definitely agree. And man, it's so many things we got to talk about with this one. Even though it was a loss, there will be no highlights tonight because there were no Cardinal highlights. So there's that. And but yeah, we got a lot we can still talk about because there's a lot of questions about this team that, I mean, after a performance like that, it's like, where does that come from? But for right now, let's find out what's going on, of course, in the world of sports.
What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? In the Casual House.
Monday Night Football, NFC West rival Seattle Seahawks are playing the Minnesota Vikings with the chance to tie in the first place with the other team we hate, the SFO over there. So what's going on in that game? Because I am not watching. It's hard for me to sit and watch Pete Carroll and them in a game. But what's going on?
Yeah, it's a lot of highlights of Pete Carroll chewing gum as always. But the game, the game is tied up 17-all with 9 minutes left in the third.
Oh man,
the game's in Seattle. I
said they were winning. Vikings.
Yeah, that happened quick, right? They had the ball in the 25, and then we got set up for the show, and it turned back around. And it's all tied up. So, yeah, the Vikings might win this one. They might actually save my picks this week because they've been awful. Shout out to Ed and Jay who are catching up to me all of a sudden, finally, after 6 weeks.
I think everybody struggled this week on those picks because a lot of teams won that should not have won games. That's for sure.
When the Bengals, the Redskins, and the Dolphins win, all of a sudden everyone's brackets are busted.
Exactly. I got busted also in the Eliminator.
Yeah.
I was perfect all the way up until Carolina chooses to lose to freaking Washington. I mean, it's like, really? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming from a mile.
I see that coming. There's no way that was coming.
No.
But they have lost, 4 in a row now. So it's like, but at least you thought they would play better than Washington.
Right. I mean, they were competitive in those other games.
Yeah, I know. In big games, too. But I don't know. They just played down to the competition and just didn't show up just like another team did in the Valley. But What else we got to talk about? The Phoenix Suns are back in the win column. They beat up, well, not beat up, but they did beat the New Orleans Hornets tonight.
Charlotte Hornets.
I said New Orleans. Charlotte Hornets tonight. And
that's $1 in the bad word jar.
Yeah, like San Diego.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, yeah. So, what was the final count of that one?
I want to say it was 119 to 114. It was a 5-point win. I know that for sure. Let me double check. 109 to 104. Sorry, give them a little bit extra points each.
Okay. I was about to say they are scoring a lot of points, but no defense.
A lot of points. Oubre and Booker both had 23 each.
Okay.
In that game, so
and no Baines, right?
No Baines, no Okobo, and Tyler Johnson did not play either. They have won 2 of their last 8, Earl, and so that means I'm going to ask this question a little early if we don't want to get off on a tangent here. But you think the Suns are actually going to make the playoffs with all these injuries?
That's all going to be determined on how Ayton comes back and how he looks. That's just period, point blank. Right now, they're hanging on because they're going by sheer will right now. Baines keeps them relevant to be in games and competitive. When he's out, they look like a little bit getting close to a little bit of last year's team.
Right.
Discombobulated, not knowing where the ball is supposed to go, and some people are holding the ball too long. People are not shooting and taking bad shots. They take a lot of bad shots.
Yeah.
But if Ayton can come back, I'm hoping this dude is looking at Luka on TV, Doncic, just watching this kid just blow up the way he's blowing up, and everybody talking that talk about he should have been the number 1 pick. That would tick me off if I'm Ayton.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he comes back and plays with a vengeance and be a monster, and mainly on the defensive end. Let's see him be improved on the defensive end, in the paint, guarding the paint, because we give up way too many layups. So if he can guard that paint and make them relevant in the paint, and he's a good volume scorer, 18, 10, 20 and 10 easy every night, I think they can be the 7th or 8th seed.
And you know what Baines has proven is that you don't need our center to score the brunt of the points. We just need him to rebound and play defense.
Hustle.
And if Ayton can do that, that'd be great. But to your point again with the injuries, with Baines being out, when Rubio's out as well, we look like last year's team.
Yeah, that's so true. And that's big too. That's going to be part of the big idea. I mean, the big picture too, because if that's going to be the routine throughout the rest of this year of him just being in and out, in and out, in and out, with these injuries, then man, that could hurt their chances of getting in.
Yeah, it's going to hurt their rhythm for sure, because you're expecting a guy that has a lot of knowledge. I mean, he looks gassed already. I was telling you, watching him walk to the tunnel, he just looks destroyed. His body doesn't.
Rubio right now, he couldn't be still. He's still under 30, right?
I mean, he was drafted so young, so he can't be that old. But it's let me see here while we wait for the internet. 29 years old.
Wow. And he's just beat up. All this basketball he's been playing for all these years is starting to catch up to him, and he's starting to look like an old man as a young man.
Well, he did start playing in the Spanish league when he was 14, so he's got some miles on there.
Yeah, he's playing with adults too. He was playing with the pros, so he's got a lot of mileage on those legs, and it's starting to catch up to him. And hopefully, he can just make it through the rest of this season and next season. We need him for at least next season as well.
Yeah,
until we get Jerome up to speed,
which would be nice because he played some minutes in this game as well.
Oh,
Good
really?
to see him back. Yeah, they brought him back up. Jerome had 4 points and 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Not bad.
We'll get a taste of the next level.
Yep, 12 minutes.
See if he can, learn from Rubio while he's there, because that's going to be key. He has to learn from Rubio because he's going to be the next man up. Because I don't see, if Rubio can't stay healthy, it's going to be really hard for this team to make a playoff run. So
absolutely.
I know for sure they're going to surpass last year's win total. That's for sure.
Yeah, which is great to see.
Obliterate that probably by 10 or 12, 13 games. So, or more, maybe. Hopefully, they're making a playoff there at 42 and 42 at 500, or 41 and 41. I've got my math all off and everything.
Dreaming's free though.
Okay, so what else can we talk about? We can go through the whole NFL, what happened over the weekend, of course, like we just got through talking about. Teams that won games that weren't supposed to win games. The Redskins decide to beat Carolina 29-21. The Bengals get their first win, 22-6 waxing of the Jets. I mean, I don't still think they were supposed to win that game, but they did.
No, the Bengals don't know what they're doing. Why are you winning the game?
Why
You
you
go
winning the game?
0-11.
Man, I don't know. Tennessee beats Indy in the Unpredictable Bowl, 31-17.
Anytime Tennessee plays, man, I always pick that game
That's
wrong.
what it is. When them two
Every
play
time.
each other, they both are unpredictable. It's like, who knows?
Man.
Just flip a coin and just whichever team's quarterback shows up is the one that wins.
Jeez.
Then here's the real kicker. The sorry NFC East. The Eagles let Miami put up 37 points on them. How do you let Miami put up 37 points on you?
It's called Miami Beach.
It's called Ryan Fitzmagic. What?
No, it is the beaches of Miami that had the Eagles very confused.
Oh my goodness, is that an ugly division or what?
That division needs to take a break. They need to take a break.
This is exactly why the NFL and Roger Goodell and all the committee needs to change the playoff seeding, because this division, somebody's going to win this division at 8-8, basically, or maybe 7-9.
It might be 7-9 if we're being realistic.
7-9 or 8-8, and Washington is still in the hunt, and they 3-8 or 3-9 right now.
Yeah, and they don't even know what their identity is at this point. They still don't know what they're doing.
Wow. What is the deal with the NFC East? I mean,
I don't mind. I don't know about you. I don't mind.
I actually kind of from day one, when Dallas won those first cupcake games, the 3-0 start,
and you hear all this
trend,
talking.
That trend just kept on. I kept telling everybody they only win when they play cupcakes.
Yeah.
And so somebody had a nice little post on Facebook with all the 6 quarterbacks that they lost against.
And the black cat. Do you see that too?
Yeah, and the black cat.
Just checking to see if y'all still them boys.
Yeah, I saw that, and the black cat and everything. And I said they should have put a 6-pack of cupcakes in between at the top.
Yeah.
When they play the cupcakes, that's when they win.
Yeah, when are the Cowboys the strongest? When they're at the bake sale. That's when.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And what does that point to? That doesn't point to just only talent or coach. I mean, what does that point to? That you can't beat a good team, but you can beat a team that's under a sorry team, if you want to call it, but you can't beat a 500 or better team. What does that point to? Is that coaching? Is that the quarterback? Is that what?
No, that's a legacy of mediocrity. You're erasing all of those championships and those good teams that you can't refute that they were good, because they were. You're erasing all of that with just decades of mediocrity.
Yeah.
And it's fine by me.
I really think the Cowboys' problems started when they start going away from Ezekiel Elliott and giving Dak the ball. Not saying that Dak didn't shine in those cupcake games, because he did, and that's what got his name bigger than where it is now. But their identity used to be Zeke's getting the ball 25, 30 times a game, and now it's Dak is throwing the ball almost 30 times a game.
You think Dak's audibling out to get those contract that he wants?
So. And he's got control of the audible. He can get out of a run play real quick.
Yeah, that'll make your running back real happy.
You know, them two ain't got into no riff yet. They still cool with each other to the point where they still chest bumping and jumping up and doing the little dances at the end of the touchdowns.
While they're down by 12.
Yeah. But I just think they need to get back to what playoff football is going to be about. It's going to be about moving the chains in the run game. And if Zeke's not going and got a lather going, they're not going to make. First of all, they got to make the playoffs. But if they get there, then they're going to have a home game if they win, because only one team's coming out of the East. If it's them, the way to win in the playoffs would be to give him the ball. But
yeah.
I don't know. That's Jerry Jones is already talking a bunch of stuff in the media, and their coach is really passive. That dude is just spills out passive to me. It's like, this dude, does he have a backbone or what?
He doesn't even have stuffing because he's a puppet. puppets are empty. They don't have any stuffing, Earl. They're just empty on the inside.
Yeah, that's the puppet right there for you.
One more thing on the Cowboys. The Cowboys won't be anything successful until Jerry Jones decides to change what he does with his business plan.
Okay.
That's what it forever will be. He's the Robert Sarver of the NFL.
Yes.
Until he takes a back seat, they will never be successful.
And he's not going to ever do that.
Jerry Jones is not going to do that. Not when they call the place Jerry's World. They're never going to let him do that.
I would not be surprised. He'd be like, okay, I'm going to be the GM, and I'm going to be the coach, too. So I'm going to coach Dak and Zeke, and we're going to go in and we're going to start winning some Super Bowls.
And in the divisional games, I'm going to play free safety.
I'm glad them fools are struggling. But, okay, anyway, we can also talk about, let's get into what our Sun Devils football
there
team.
we go.
Sun Devils continue to keep the territorial cut where it belongs in the, what's they call a library down here? I forgot the standard, whatever the library is called, but it's in the
secret vault.
It's your library. 3 straight years in a row. 3 straight years in a row, and that game, they came into that game really sluggish and just like they knew they could win the game. You could tell they knew that this team was not nowhere near the caliber team they were, so they played like it. They played down to the U of A and allowed them to hang around for a half.
Yeah. And
then, of course, came back in the second half and just gave that ball to that beast in the backfield and said, game over.
Yeah, what's impressive to me as I'm looking at the stats is that Jaden only had 104 yards passing.
Oh, I know.
And Eno had 168.
He had 104 yards passing on 19 attempts.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, there's a lot of short passes because all the receivers had short passes all day. They did not do the deep ball like they normally do.
Right.
Although Dark dropped 2 deep balls, but they didn't do the deep ball like they normally do. And I think that's part of Herm's decision on to get rid of the offensive coordinators this year, because he was expecting them to attack those DBs that were horrible on the U of A. We didn't even do that.
No.
And so, but Eno took over that game. I mean, that was NFL, Herm Edwards, NFL style. Let's go ahead and shove this ball down their throat and get this game over with.
And you force 3 turnovers, and you make their kicker miss. I think it was 2 field goals, or at least a field goal and an extra point, or what happened?
It was. I think it was an extra point and a field goal. Yep. No. They missed 2 field goals.
2 field goals. Yeah. So there you go. I mean, that's 6 points right there.
Yeah. That kid, he struggled all night, but then our kicker, Zendejas, on point.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he made everything. So it was a slow game to get into, but still, it was, hey, that cup's going to stay here regardless. And Herm made sure of that by giving the ball to Eno. And he just bust out his best game so far this year. 34 carries, 168 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Whew.
And that's like, I'm in the press box, and every time he gets the ball, everybody knows I'm going to say, okay, girl, go ahead and say it. I just be like, I love this dude's running. I just said, I love how he runs the ball. Yeah. This guy runs like limbs are coming off.
Yeah.
Because people are pulling and tugging on him, and he just pulling like back, like you could just yank his name elbow out of socket. But he just runs so hard. He puts his body on the line. He does not care. I'm going down when the only way to go down is my feet are not up under me.
Right.
And he runs hard, man. I said, can somebody please take the heart out of that dude and put it in the dude in the backfield of 31 in the Cardinals game? Because that's how you run.
Yeah,
I love watching him run the ball, but how do you think he's going to fare in the NFL? He doesn't look big enough to me to be a bruiser like he is in college right now.
No, he definitely won't be used the same.
Right.
I mean, you look at him; he's 5'10", 201 pounds.
Yeah,
they're going to use. I mean, if he does get drafted, he gets the benefit of being drafted. He would probably be used, I think, a little bit more like a Chase Edmonds would. You're going to probably put him out and give him some passes and, kind of let him see, but he's not going to be a third down back that's going to, punch it in often. I mean, this college, they keep everybody so spread so where you can't really stack the box in college. So, running backs get the benefit of that. But I still love Eno's playmaking ability. The guy does not stop. I mean, he could be down and the whistle's blown, but he's still driving his legs while he's laying on the ground. Yeah. So I mean, I love his attitude, and I think that's going to get the attention of a lot of GMs.
Speaking of attention, last year Khalil Tate got a lot of attention of being a prospect coming out of college. This dude didn't look nothing like that in this game all season, actually. His throwing is just horrible. He was like erratic all night, and I did not see next level for him at quarterback at all. I see a guy that you can take and say, okay, let's make him a wide receiver or make him a running back or something.
Right.
Not a quarterback. That guy looked really bad. I don't know what
TDs,
he was. All
3 interceptions.
Maybe it's Sunland. I mean, I don't know what it is. What's going on down there in that school? Who really cares? But man, he doesn't look like a prospect coming out of college at all to me. But let's talk real quick. Herm's decision on getting rid of Rob Lycan and the rest of the offensive coordinators, and now a prospect popping up on the radar, Hugh Jackson. Better be careful, Herm. This dude wants to take over stuff.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Hire those friends, man, because sometimes they want to come in and take your spot. And that dude is that type of guy. You saw how he ended up in Cleveland. So I don't know about that, but we'll see how that turns out. But let's take a we're going to get back and talk about what we have to talk about, and that's our Arizona Cardinals. Came off a bye week and just did not show anything that they did on the bye week, but lay down and rest probably. But you're listening to the Casual Sports Show. Earl Burnett, Sean McConnell, right here on KSRN. You can reach us right at www.ksrnaz.com. Articles go up all throughout the week for the Cardinals, Suns, D-backs, you name it. We got it up there for you. So stick around, Bird Gang. Suns Nation will be right back.
We're going to take a little break, but we'll be back in a while, so don't nobody go nowhere.
Hey, Arizona, this is Earl Burnett, the Casual Sports Show. I want to invite you to the hottest sports bar in the Valley. Experience the lodge mentality of Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is so much more than your typical sports bar. This lounge welcomes every guest with the World Series walk-offs and barrel-aged whiskey. The second you walk inside, you're surrounded by a lodge full of friendly and attentive Twin Peak girls serving it up from scratch. Only here can you truly embrace the lodge mentality. Twin Peaks. Nothing sets us apart more than our signature 29 draft beers, served in perfectly frosted 22-ounce man-sized mugs. Our rotating selection of fan favorites and in-house brews are the guests' trusted companion in victory or defeat. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Yeah. Get us. War. Live music. I just wanna pull up in the van, bang. Pull up in the corner, bang my anthem, bang. See ya with a badass in the man, bang. Listen, I'm the answer, I just wanna pull up in the van, bang. Pull up in the corner, bang my anthem, bang. See ya with a badass in the man, bang. Listen, I'm the answer, You see me pulling up in the Phantom. I got my niggas by my side, can't pass them.
Welcome back into the Casual House, Bird Gang. Earl Burnett, Sean McConnell. This is what we do every Monday night for you, Bird Gang. We give you the latest of what's going on in the Bird Gang community, and also our Arizona Cardinals, of course, and anything else happening in the world of Arizona sports. All right, man. We were at the game.
Yes, we were.
You want to call it that. And This team just, I don't know. It just surprises you how they could be so lethargic after a full bye week, and you come out like that playing a team that got shellacked on Thursday night on a short week. You should be ready to kick them while they're down. Instead, you give them momentum to get them back on track. It's like, what the heck is going on in our locker room?
You look around and you're seeing veterans making business decisions now. Obviously, Brock has been cut this morning. I don't think Brock is the reason why we're letting tight ends run freely or running backs run free or any quarterback, literally any quarterback that comes in to play like an all-star.
Right.
It's not all on Brock's shoulders. So, I think Brock's been blessed by being let go early, being probably picked up by some playoff team late. He'll be just fine. I'm not worried about him.
I would not be surprised if he asked to go.
You know what? It seems like that might be the case. And to me, I'm looking right at 21. I'm looking at Pat. I'm saying, are you trying to throw games now to get Vance fired, or are you trying to get yourself cut or traded? What are you trying to do now?
Yeah.
What is it now? You're jumping early on a ball that you know you had a chance to go get, and you jumped early. There's no way that you mistimed that.
He definitely. Oh, we'll get on him in a minute because there's a lot to chew on with that. That guy, he's all talk. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you, he does a lot of talking, a lot of. And I'm not talking about trash talking on the film. I'm talking about he does a lot of talking, like he knows what's going on and he knows how good he is and he knows where we can be, where they can be, and what we need to do. And he just does a lot of yapping and no action. So. At least this year, and from what you're saying, it looks like he did. When you see him out there playing, it does look exactly like he's throwing a game. It does. It looks exactly like that. It's like blue chips. He's out there throwing a game in football. So I don't know, man.
I'm looking at him. I'm thinking to myself, this is what I'm thinking out loud.
Well, we're waiting.
We're waiting. We're waiting for something. We're waiting for anything. Do something.
Yeah, well, we didn't even have highlights tonight, so nothing got done. So the only highlight that could come from this game, I don't know. Give me one positive thing from this game. It's something positive.
It wasn't a shutout.
Well, that wasn't our doing. That was Sean McVay saying, you know what?
Let me throw my friend Cliff a bone.
Sean McVay was like this.
What is that?
That was Rocky saying, "Throw the damn towel, throw the towel."
I mean, overall, man, the whole game plan.
Threw the towel in because we was crying, throw the towel, throw the towel.
This is what happens when you have a defense that hasn't been playing all year and you have an offense that finally has a bad week. This is exactly what you get.
I know you talked about it, Adam. Garbage. What did that start with?
You just get garbage on both sides of the ball, and you can't do anything about it.
Well, I mean, we know the offense struggled. That's a given for the first time in a long time. They usually come out strong. They usually come out on the first drive. Even if they don't score on the first drive, they usually move the ball a little, get a couple of first downs, get Kyler in the rhythm.
Right.
That didn't happen in this game.
No.
So now here's my question. If you already know that the Rams are down and beat down and down and out, and you know your defense is suspect at giving up, chunks of yardage, you got the coin toss. Why did you defer? Get the dang ball and try to go get into a rhythm and get something going for yourself first. Don't give them the opportunity to take the momentum from you right out of the gate, and that's what happened.
I haven't been looking at the stats much. I feel like we defer to the defense a lot when we win the coin toss, and my thought is, why? They're not doing anything.
Yeah, you defer to your defense when you know I have a defense that can stop somebody.
Yeah,
that's how I see that.
But you know what?
If you know your defense has been struggling all season to giving up the tight end and giving up the receivers and giving up points to every quarterback known to man. If you know your defense is like that, why are you deferring? Try to take the reins of that game. You're at home. You got that crowd behind you. Start the game and try to get on track. Instead, they did the opposite and let that team just come in there and roll them up.
When you defer, this is what happens.
Thank you, sir. May I have another? Thank you, sir. May I have another?
May I have another? May I have another? You're just giving them the opportunity to put one up on you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Sean McVay used, and you can tell he was there. I didn't see not one panic in that dude. You can tell this game was for him to get them back on track. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna tear this. He saw so many holes in our defense, probably on tape, that he knew he was gonna have a good day with his quarterback. Get his quarterback back in rhythm. Get his quarterback back on track after a November where he threw 0 touchdowns. After Todd Gurley is like David Johnson, can't be found, and all of a sudden they just emerge. Boom. It's like, wow. I mean, everybody's talking about. I mean, I'm hearing all the talk in the media, and they're back. No, they're not back. They just played us. That's the reason why they look like they're back.
We get everybody back on track. We made Jameis Winston look like he was back on track.
And now you got this rookie coming in from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's going to look like Joe Namath. I mean, it's just like that's just how it is. Now, my question's still going to be, how on earth 13 to 14 weeks of a dang football season that the press conferences are still saying, we got to figure this out. We got to fix this. We got to fix that. We got to figure out what we're doing. We got to figure it out. Why are you still trying to figure it out? The writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. Tell me this. And last year, there was a game that was played in Denver. I mean, at home, and Denver came in.
Oh, I was there Thursday night.
Yeah, we were there and kicked our butt soundly. This kind of feels like that. It feels like the team has quit on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
The team has quit, and they want somebody out. When they want somebody out, everybody quits.
Yeah.
To a point. And last year, that was Mike McCoy. You saw it play out on the field. This dude's got to go.
Yeah.
I think that the team is trying to get a message over to Cliff Kingsbury that it's time for Vance Johnson to go. I mean, Vance Joseph.
Vance Johnson and Vance Joseph can go.
Ed and them got me saying that because they be saying that Vance Johnson. I'm like, oh, it got me sounding like Rondé Barber on the dang on broadcast. But no, Vance, this is a sign of Vance Joseph have to go. Maybe the team is giving him a sign. Look, man, what are you waiting on?
Yeah.
And it seems like that. It felt like that in that same game. It felt like that Denver game that we were watching last year. So,
and the irony is that, Mike McCoy, former Denver guy, fired, came to us, gone. Okay. Now we got Vance Joseph, former Denver guy. He got fired. Where is he? With us. Right. He's about to be gone.
You can't blame the whole thing 100% on Vance Joseph. But there is just a level of something's missing to where how on earth. I mean, I watched the sorry Washington Redskins, the sorry Miami Dolphins, the sorry Jets. I watched all those 3 teams play defense, and do you know they get beat in games, but they're around the freaking ball when the ball's being thrown.
There's not guys just running downfield all game long.
Wide open where nobody's there. There is nobody around receivers when they're tight ends and receivers when they're catching the ball. It's like, how could that happen? Here's Jordan Hicks's explanation of how that happens.
Oh boy.
All cylinders we were off, and yeah, it's unacceptable. It's execution. We were getting things that we had practiced. We just didn't execute, man. It's communication. It's taking what we've done in practice and applying it in the game. And most of the time, somebody's supposed to have that person. And when 1 or 2 people are playing something different or playing a different leverage, then what everybody else is playing, you're exposed that quick. One person out of position, you're going to get exposed. So that's what it's all about, man. We got to execute at a better level.
Let's talk about that exposure real quick.
Yeah, who is being exposed to that degree?
Well, you know what? He was being exposed a little bit himself. That's the irony of it. You see him on the sideline chasing down somebody. You know he's already been beat, right? He's exposed. So whether or not that was somebody else's man or not, I don't care. I see your number behind the guy who's running downfield. So I'm going to say that's on you until I look at the film and see, oh, it was broken coverage or whatever. But there's another man who got exposed, who only got to play one snap. He's usually the butt of our can't get rights.
Exactly.
Haason Reddick. You're on the field for one defensive snap, and you trip and you give up a touchdown to Tyler Higbee.
Wow.
You had
one job.
Just the one.
You had just the one job, Haason Reddick.
Oh, no. We suck again.
To Jordan Hicks' point, he says when two people are going one way, they're thinking they're supposed to do another thing, and another guy's doing another. How is that possible still?
It shouldn't be.
So that means is Vance Joseph's scheme that complex where we got a bunch of people in a room that can't understand it?
What's the matter with you, boy? You too stupid to do what your coach tells you?
You got too many people that can't understand what the coaches are saying?
And here's the thing. If it's so complicated, get out of the zone. There's nothing complicated about a man defense.
That's where I'm leaning at. Is if it's too complicated, if a guy comes in here, you do this. If another guy comes in here, you go over there. So it's too many different things that one person has to do. If
it's a Thursday, do this.
Give them specific assignments and let them stick to that one assignment. If Haason Reddick, if his job is to stay with the tight end and don't look for anything else, you just make sure your job is to stay with that tight end. Then why not let him do that?
Exactly.
I don't understand how they could still be mixed up and like it sounded like he was saying they're doing two different things on the field. How can you be doing two different things if it's one scheme?
Exactly. It sounds like, unless you've got rogue players now that are just playing for themselves. I'm not saying it's Patrick Peterson, but you never know.
That's got a lot to do with it, man. Let's get on that because you touched on him earlier, and they tried to get Cliff to talk about that, but he kind of threw it off to the side because he knows that player has to come out and own it up for himself.
Yeah.
And Patrick, like I said, did a lot of talking, and this is him talking. Listen to him talking during the week of practice leading up to this game.
Find a way, Steve and, the scouting department, find a way to keep the core here. I think we have a great locker room. Obviously, we can't keep everyone, but there are some guys that you definitely want to keep around. And I hope they do a good job at that this year and making sure that we keep the guys that belong here and that needs to be here to help us turn that corner.
Any preliminary talks about your contract?
Nah, no talks as of yet, but, we'll have to wait and see what the future holds.
Are you okay to start something now?
I'm always up for a contract negotiation. So, but no talks have happened just yet. Just looking forward to finish off the season off strong.
Is there a next year?
Not necessarily, because at the end of the day, all I can do is control what I can control. When that time presents itself, I'll be ready. But at the end of the day, I have to make sure that I'm playing the best football that I can. So, those talks can happen and I can get what I deserve.
Whoa. Way too many words. I was like, what? And then I was like, huh?
Okay, Earl, I got some thoughts on that right now because I hadn't heard that cut yet.
I'm like that last cut. I'm like, what? And I'm like, huh?
So he even said himself that he has to put himself in a position to be able to get to those talks. He hasn't, which is why he hasn't had those talks. And this is going to be the first contract negotiation that he should not be looking forward to. Because I got two words for you, Pat. Pay cut. You will be getting a pay cut if you want to stay on this team. Right. Father Time has shown his face, and it has not shone brightly upon you, my friend.
Remember when I was saying he talks? That's what I'm talking about. That confident talk, that arrogant talk of, I know I'm the best, so I'm gonna go out and do what I gotta do, and I'm gonna get paid anyway. And I'm gonna do. He's got that arrogant, like those. What is that group of players they call themselves? That the shutdown corners. He's got that type of talk, but he's not backing that up on the field.
No, and that group changes every year.
It sure does.
Sherman's not in that list anymore, but Stephon Gilmore is.
okay, hold up. Sherman's not on that list anymore, but at least Sherman still got heart.
No, I'm
Sherman
saying he's
he's game with his heart on his sleeve.
Yes.
Much as we don't like the dude.
No, of course.
Still brings it.
Sherman is still on a higher tier than Patrick is this year.
Absolutely.
It is what it is.
I remember the year when I forgot what year it was, either 17 or 18, when they were going back and forth in the meeting on Twitter talking about who was the shutdown corner. I remember Sherman saying Patrick shouldn't even be in the same category that we all are in. He gave up too many touchdowns. I remember that.
Oh yeah. And
I was like, and everybody got in the uproar about, he trying to talk about, but he was right. He was right. We have sat on Patrick Peterson and kind of had this probe around him like he can do no wrong.
Well, he's done some.
And everybody, you remember last year when a certain fan got down on me about telling why this guy comes out and plays like he's playing on the field and lifting people up and can I get your jersey at the end of the game while the game is playing. I mean, I took a lot of heat for saying that dude doesn't have the killer instinct that he's supposed to have because he's a leader on this team, and I don't care how you spin it. Leaders lead, followers follow. If you're following passive, the followers are going to follow passive. That's what happened in that defense yesterday, and it happened last year, and it's going to keep happening until they get a better leader on that defense.
Yeah.
Period. And he is not the leader of that defense. He better not have a C on his shirt right now.
No, he doesn't.
Good.
And he'll miss his first Pro Bowl. He'll miss his first Pro Bowl this year as well.
And the way he's playing right now, it's like you said earlier, it seems like he's trying to play his way out of Arizona, which is pretty evident.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Leaders lead. And when they come with a heart ready to cut throat and go at it, man, it gets that team behind them confidence to go at it.
Yeah, when the clock starts, they are your enemy, period. When the game ends, then go for it. If you're blowing them out, sure, start dapping them up and start asking for jerseys. But if you're down, get back in it.
Man, I look at this team and Patrick Peterson and I look at the defense, how they played in that game, and it's starting to get to the big S word.
I said you soft, and I called you soft. I spell it. S-O-F capital T. Soft.
That is perfect.
I said you soft, and I called you soft. I spell it. S-O-F capital T. Soft.
That's exactly how they are, man, with emphasis on the T.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be no softer than that.
You know, there's two S's. There's soft and there's sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is a sorry defense right now.
Sorry is kind of like a talent that you're just not talented enough.
Well, there's that too, because here, I'm going to apologize for Vance just a little bit because I feel bad for him because he's about to be fired. I feel pretty bad for him. You had probably about 4 or 5 guys that you expected to have in the beginning of the year that you ended up not having. Darius Philon being one of them. What's his name that's betting on the team while he's on the team. You got Patrick missing 6 games. I mean, Vance was kind of dealt a bad hand, but I also know what he did in Denver and what he wasn't really doing in Denver. And so I don't give him I don't think he needs a second chance to prove anything.
Was he the defensive coordinator when the Broncos played Carolina in the Super Bowl?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so either.
The year after that.
So what has he done? He has, other than go to a team and get fired.
He was a defensive coordinator that had Von Miller on it. That's what he did.
Exactly. And so, I mean, then they moving up to head coach, and he couldn't, he wasn't a head coach. He was a defensive coordinator. But he hasn't done anything as far as winning goes yet. So he doesn't know what it feels like to win. Mm-hmm. So what is his speech to his team? What is his motivation that is to his team? How does he delegate to each individual on his team? I mean, does he let them do it on their own?
I don't even know. I mean,
look at this. When during the bye week last week, what happened? Cliff said day off. The last day of practice before going into the bye week, gave him the day off. You can't give a young team that doesn't know how to win a day off of practice. They didn't earn that day off of practice
during the bye week, which also had Thanksgiving in it.
Yeah. But still, that was a practice day that he said, no practice. Go ahead and go early, enjoy the bye week.
Take your cell phone break.
And it's like, you can't afford to do that, man.
Yeah.
If you're a winning team with a lot of veterans that know how to get people and kick them in the ass and make them keep working, then yeah, you can do that. But you don't have that luxury on this team.
Oh, and I stand corrected. Vance was the coordinator for Miami in 2016 and then head coach for Denver in 2017 and 2018. So
right.
he wasn't even the defensive coordinator for Von Miller. He was the head coach.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Well, see, there you go. He was a defensive coordinator in Miami. They never had a defense. So, I mean, I'm not saying, that's all his fault because it's all come down to talent. But it's like, okay, coaches make their careers by taking what they have and getting that towel and squeezing that towel to the tightest it can go to get every drop out of what you have. Look at Mike Tomlin. Look at Mike Tomlin right now dealing with a third-string quarterback, no first-string running back, got everything. Juju ain't living up to his capability. He's got pieces in here and squeezing out wins. That's a coach.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do on the defensive end. You have to take what you have. You have Hassan Reddick, who was drafted as an edge rusher. Take that towel and squeeze it and see what you can get out of him on the edge rush because we're not getting a pass rush. Where the hell is T. Suggs at?
Getting that check, man.
There you go. And his boy outed him in the media, talk about that they stealing. Man, you making it true.
Yeah, and him and Chandler don't sit as close as they used to on the bench. And you know what? I think on the Hassan Reddick point, that maybe it's Vance or Cliff, who knows? But someone's listening to you now because Mike Jurecki reported that they will start to explore Hassan Reddick actually going after a quarterback versus a tight end, which is 10 yards in front of him. What
have we been saying for the last month? It's exactly that. And that's this team's way now of saying we got to try something. This is the last hurrah for him. If he can't make it happen in this position, they're phasing their way out. They're phasing him out after this.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be the next Brock out the door for sure. Because if they can't get something out of him out the pass rush, that's it.
You can't trade him.
So you can't. No way. We didn't talk about Kyler's performance. We already know it was his worst performance of the season. We know that already. Listen to what he was talking about after the game.
From the jump, we just kind of were flat. They obviously came out with more injury than us. They wanted it more. They played harder than us. And good feeling. So, and I know we're better than that. And we got another opportunity next Sunday.
Why do you think you guys would come back?
It was good. It really didn't bother me. I wasn't gonna play if I couldn't be myself, and I felt fine today. I mean, for me personally, I didn't do a good job of sitting in there and just trusting it today, just because maybe because of the pressure. But next week I'll be better.
He said it. I didn't do a good job of sitting in there, and I was saying it through the whole game. You got to step up, and he would not step back because of the pressure. And I don't know how all these guys kind of get together and kind of talk together maybe of what to say, what not to say in the media or something, because I don't care how they spin it. He was affected by that hamstring.
Oh yeah.
I don't care how they spin it. He was affected because you can see him at the beginning of the game before the game even started while he was over the sideline throwing. He was like really gingerly walking and trying not to put pressure on that leg.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this dude is not right. He's not right.
He said it didn't affect him, but after the game being thrown around like a rag doll, it certainly did.
Oh, I'm hurt. Oh, my neck, my back, my neck and my back. Oh.
A hamstring could be like that. It can be really tight, and then when you get going, it can warm up and give you a little time to, kind of feel like yourself a little bit. But eventually, as you go sit, like he kept doing, he kept sitting back down, putting that heating pad on that leg, and he had to keep getting back up and resetting, sitting back down, getting back up and reset. That's a mental thing that can be really tough to overcome in a game.
Yeah,
especially at quarterback.
And it's not like he was. I don't think he was his usual self. He wasn't running around like he had to. He wasn't taking those RPOs. They didn't call those.
Right. And he got warm late in the game and made a run to the end zone, but that was against the second string defense. So he was definitely faster than the second string defense. But still, like you said, he definitely wasn't himself.
Right.
He wasn't that threat, Kyler. He wasn't that Kyler. And then his accuracy was off because he wasn't stepping into his throw clean enough. So he got affected by the injury. Now,
and that's fine.
Yeah, and it's okay. That happens. And Cliff said later after the game that he wanted him to stay in there and get those reps and get that experience and knowing how to come back from those type of things. But at some point, you had to pull him from that game because he was at risk.
Yeah.
I think so. I think you pull him in that fourth quarter. Why play him? The game is over with.
Yeah, I mean, if you tear that hamstring, you might be back in time for OTAs, but why risk it?
Yeah, you're done. You tear that thing up. You tear that thing, you're done. Kind of like your boy at Alabama. I mean, why play him? Why play him? The game is over with. You don't even need him. He's got his reps for the game for the day. He stunk it up. He got his stunk up, his game that he had, his stinker.
He had his chance.
He had his chance, and hey, now he's got to go ahead and sit on that one for a while and let it simmer on him, and he'll come back even hungrier and be, even more ticked off and then come out and play better. But why keep him out there and take the risk of him going into the offseason having to nurse something and can't come back for an OTA?
All they did was let him throw 2 more picks. So, I mean, technically almost three, right?
3 in the game for sure.
So,
I mean, I don't know. To me, as Cliff is trying to get him up to speed and get him to get all of his experience in this one season. I mean, he's still going to be learning. He's still going to go through some pains, growing pains, even next season.
We've used this a lot in the past and last year and this year as well. But I think Jim Mora just sums it up perfectly.
Oh,
and
of
that
course.
was a disgraceful performance, in my opinion. We threw that game. We gave it away by doing that. We gave them the friggin' game. In my opinion, that sucked. What's that? Playoffs? Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I just hope we can win a game, Earl. I just hope we can win a game.
And we just got mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. As though that we didn't know that was coming. But yeah, they looked horrible. There's nothing else you can say about that game, but you just looked horrible.
Absolutely horrible.
Now, what do you do about it?
Well, you host Steelers, which is basically Steelers West, so it's going to be a Steelers crowd on Sunday. And you kind of just hope for the best, that you can take advantage of a rookie quarterback with a defense that can't do anything. So, I mean, you know what? It's going to be a shootout, basically, is what it's going to be. And is Kyler healthy enough to do that?
I don't see anything changing when it comes to the quarterback position as far as the opposing team, because in the backfield there's a lazy boy chair sitting there with a quarterback just sitting in his little lazy boy, just kicking, not getting touched by anybody.
Right.
And looking over the field and okay, that's an easy throw, and boom. Because when you cover too long, and I don't care how good your secondary is, if 7 seconds that quarterback gets, somebody's going to get open.
Yeah.
And that's not to blame a defense. You can't blame a defense, the secondary, for that. I don't care how you can have Patrick Peterson when he was good. You can have Richard Sherman when he was in his prime. You can have Deion Sanders. You can have all of them out there. You give that quarterback 7 seconds, that DB is going to get burned.
Yeah.
So where is the pressure going to come from? That's going to be the key going into the next game. You have a rookie quarterback who needs to have pressure on him to learn the game and to see what this NFL is really about. But if you don't give it to him, he's going to look like he's in college again. He's going to just pick you apart.
Yeah. So if Chandler can't get it, Hassan Reddick has to. And you got faith in that, or what?
Oh, where's it coming from now? Now, if Hassan's got enough gas in his engine to come off that edge, coming off the edge at Temple, maybe there's a shot.
Does he even remember how to do it?
I don't know, man. I don't know. That just goes back to asking that question.
What's the matter with you, boy? You too stupid to do what your coach tells you?
I wasn't ready for that one. I wanted to give you the Monday Night Football update before we get out of here.
All right.
The Seahawks are up 34-24.
Well, that helps me in my picks, but
yeah, but you're still in fourth place, so that doesn't help you much.
Doesn't help me at all, really. So it really doesn't matter. But you knew Russell and they wasn't going to lose at home. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But before we get out of here,
here's to those who just
something in his head. This man can't get right. Can't get right. That's the kid's name? Yep. Oh, can't get right. Can't get right. This is you, baby. This you can't get right. Can't get right.
Can't get right.
This for you can't get right. We got a couple of people on the can't get right list. My first one, of course, would be Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. Can't get it right against that Ohio State team. And then you turn around in the media and get ticked off at the media and say they insulted you when they ask, what's the gap between you and that team? Is it coaching? Is it players? Is it whatever? You take that as an insult. I don't know. But he can't get that. They can't get right and find a way to beat that team. How do they beat that team? Is it cleaning house again and going and starting all over?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, college is so weird. It's just one of those things.
Man, I don't know, but maybe it's Jim himself. I don't know, but also on the can't get right front, you gotta throw the Cowboys in there. You gotta throw them in there. You can't beat a team over 500.
No, you cannot.
What's up with that?
Just checking to see if y'all said them boys.
Yeah, Dak Prescott, come on, man. You trying to get that big payoff. You got to beat teams better than 500. You got to beat playoff teams, dude. That's how you get paid.
I got about 53 guys that could go on this can't get right, and they all play for the Arizona Cardinals. Y'all can't get right this week.
Yeah, man. They better get right this week or this thing going to get ugly real quick. It's time we didn't even touch on that. Is it time for Steve Keim to go after the season is up?
You know they're still giving him another year. You know that. They don't have it in them. They're going to give Steve Keim another year.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere either. I had a Facebook post go up, and I was talking about that with one of the fans. And unfortunately, I was letting him know, unfortunately, that's not going to happen because you take the risk of a new GM coming in here wanting to blow everything up, and now you could probably lose Cliff. You could probably even lose Kyler. Who knows? Another guy wants to come here and doesn't want a run-around quarterback. He wants a pocket guy.
Well, you got to settle. You got to settle for the guy that will be willing to keep what you already have, but then he might just suck at drafting.
Which will end up another puppet.
Yeah.
So
just keep the one you got.
End up keeping this guy, let him take the risk at our draft picks again this year, take the risk at our free agency again this next year coming up. So hopefully he gets it right. That's all you got. That's all you got.
Just promote A-Dub to assistant.
To them next year.
Yep.
It's going to be an interesting offseason too, man. Really.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping they go in. I'm hoping they can go in the offseason on a positive note and win some of these games at the end. But if not, it's going to be really interesting to see what they do in the offseason.
I got one last thing. Right now we're at the 7th pick in the draft, right? You want to know the last time we picked 7th? Jonathan Cooper.
Wow.
Feel good?
Jonathan Cooper. Man, there's a name that just like, where is he right now?
I couldn't tell you.
I know. And that's another edition of the Casual Sports Show. Bird Gang, Suns Nation, all of Arizona. We love coming in here and doing it for you every Monday night. Check us out throughout the week. Articles going up at www.ksrnaz.com. And we'll check you out next week. Peace.
Peace out.